So hello everyone, we have a great opportunity today to speak with Aidas Ardzijauskas. He's the Lithuanian ultramarathon runner. He can tell us more about the 6-day self-transcendence race he won in New York last month. This is end of April, and now he's had a bit more than a month to recover, so we can actually drill him with some questions, and he can tell us more about the details, the race, how it felt, and so on. So if you don't know Aidas, he's actually managed to accomplish quite a few big runs himself in his lifestyle. He's managed to run across Lithuania, he's managed to run around the Baltic Sea, he's managed to cross the United States as well, from LA to New York, covering 5,000 kilometers in 2 months. So maybe you can tell us more about the results, details, and because you actually won the race, and how it went. Hello everyone, my name is Aidas, and not long ago I managed to participate in the 6-day race. I managed to win the race, and I managed to get pretty good kilometer number in 6 days, 832 kilometers. It's the third best result among Lithuanian ultra runners. First one goes to Aidas, 965 kilometers, and the second to Piotr Sinkel, 849 kilometers. They are split results, so they actually were running more than 6-day races, and I'm obviously myself getting slowly better and better in these races, and I'm trying to achieve my maximum result. This has been my third attempt so far for this type of race, and hopefully the 4th, 5th and 6th will provide me with the maximum results that I'm expecting. The preparation for these type of race takes around half a year, and generally my day is broken down into 2 types of training types. One is for core activities and general strength, and I do that 3 to 4 times a week, 1 to 3 hours. And for running, I do 4 to 5 times a week, from 1 hour to 3 hours, and sometimes I do 30k in one go. Sometimes I run 3 times a day, doing 10k, in the morning, evening, and lunchtime. And yeah, that's how I'm training, just how I feel. I run when I feel well, and I adjust my plan accordingly. So, can you tell us more about the race? What is this race about? The food. How does it work? Do you just start running for 6 days and try and achieve the boast? Most of the runners, they just try to use their strengths and weaknesses here to run most amount of kilometers. Some don't sleep at all, some sleep a certain amount every day, some sleep only after a certain amount of kilometers. So it's all about leveraging your strengths in this area. For myself, it was very difficult. I thought it would be much easier. I managed on my first day around 170 kilometers. It was really very hot on that day, and it was a bit harder on the second day, and my temperature was going up. I basically had a high temperature, and the third day was very tough. The 4th and 5th day I was recovering, and the 6th day it was mathematically quite clear that I'm gonna win, so I didn't push it too hard. In terms of mathematics, my main competitor was going, his kilometers count was going down bit by bit, so I just sort of kept to my pace and tried to win the race. So Rimmer Cyclitis helped me a lot in the preparing for this race, and he's one of the best in the world in this track category. So he helped me solve all the problems along the way in terms of running this race. Of course, I wanted a better result in the races. I wanted 850, but I got what I got. So how did it happen on the first day? How much did you sleep? I managed to sleep around an hour on the first day, a bit more on the second day, and on the third day 6 hours, because I had the temperature. Was it hard to wake up? Well, no, I was just forced to wake up, so I just ran. Yeah, and my team was obviously supporting me in this area. So the third day was the hardest for you, and your temperature went up, and you had to obviously sleep a lot more. Yes, doctors gave me antibiotics and told me to sleep 6 to 8 hours, and I managed to take the 6 hours. Obviously slept a bit less because the total time is 6 hours for the rest. It was very hard to obviously accelerate and pick up the pace. I had a few miles on top, so the competition kicked in sort of psychologically, and the fourth day obviously I did around 135 kilometers, something like that, and the other days were I increased my kilometers a little bit. It was very hard to make myself obviously run faster and faster. So how many calories do you have to consume to keep running all those kilometers per day, keeping up that amount? I was consuming more than 8,000 kilometers per day. In the actual race you get to eat 4 times a day. Obviously you use your own time as well to eat, but the goal is to not to use your own body's reserves as much as possible. It's about eating all the food and using the energy from there. But if you feel well and you do well, everything goes well. So what happens to the runners that manage to chunk down all that food? It's very simple. They get tired much quicker, and that leads to pain as well, and a lot of it is psychological, and it feels like you just can't do it anymore, and you just stop and that's it, and the race is over. There aren't many people in the race, so how many people were in the race this time? I think there were from 15 to 40 people, so there aren't many runners that attempt those distances in the world. No, not at all. The best results that were achieved in this area were in the year 2000. So in terms of fuel, the strategy is to obviously use your own body's reserves the least as possible, and try and take everything out from the food. Yes, I know when the temperature is high, and if you try and try too hard and consume too much of your own energy, you probably won't make the race. And the main reason probably why a lot of the sports guys fail here is because they don't choose the right pace according to them, and then their body weight falls really quickly, and from then on all the problems happen. So you're planning to do the same race next year? No, next year I think I'll do the 6-day race in Hungary, in Europe, and I hope to bring a bigger team and try and achieve at least the Rima's Yakalaitis result. And I would wish, to get to 1,000 kilometers one day. Well, it's been great to hear from you, all of these reports and details. I don't think there are many people in the world who can, do that many kilometers a day. And, especially when you get high temperature on your third day and your doctors are trying to put you to sleep. So I think a lot of people might be really interested in how you manage to, endure those distances. In terms of psychology, I didn't really have too much time to think about it. I had the whole plan and everything. Everything was there, what could happen, how you should react, what would happen if this happens, and how to correct that problem and how to get out of that hole. I didn't really need the plan too much this time, because I had Rimas Yakalaitis helping me, and he was also not just helping but also running in some parts of the races. I think I had a really good competitor from Sweden, which so I had to look a lot at what he's doing, what's his strategy, and obviously adjust accordingly a few times during the race, just to obviously win. In the last 2 days we found the best working option, and hopefully I'll try and use those options that I found in Hungary next year. The best plan that I've found that's working to date. It's a lot about food and sleep and so on. So last year you won the 10-day self-transcendence race, and it was, as we understand, was very different last year, even for the 10-day race and compared to the 6-day. Yes, the last year there was very little rain in this race, whereas last year there were 5 days out of the 10 it was pouring down with rain. So the conditions were very harsh. In terms of kilometers though, I still managed to keep up. I managed to do 1,071 I think kilometers, compared to the 6-day 832 in 6 days. So there is a bit of a difference running the longer time races. So what do you think is harder for yourself, 6 days or 10 days? Keeping the pace over the 10 days is certainly hard, and but 6-day race, it's a faster one, and it's also very tough. So it's very interesting, you manage to do the 6 days and 10 days and keep a good pace. It's quite hard to understand, I think, for normal people, how it's even possible to do all of those kilometers per day. I didn't try to do everything quickly. It took 5 years just to prepare for the 10-day race, so I have taken my time and training. I've tried to find the right tempo and pace and so on. It's probably hard to understand for someone that you have to find the pace, basically, that you can run for a long time, and it's you have to find it to the second, the pace that you can keep on running for a long time. I think that's the key. So I think people who would like to try, they would need to find their optimal pace, that they don't get really tired that much. They can just run for a long time. So Aidas, thank you very much for telling us all the details, and I think we'll see you soon after your other victories in the future, we hope, and we think that you will improve your results and get better, and yeah, good luck, and thank you for coming, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.